Hello and welcome. This is Newsroom series, this edition covering Nigeria's Northeast. First, the top stories, beginning also from the Northeast. The governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, says the total number of lives lost in the flood disaster is unknown as efforts continue to ensure areas not yet accessible are reached as soon as possible. Governor Zulum also reassured affected citizens that government will come to their aid. The governor, who spoke with Channels Television earlier today, says neglect of the dam over the years has been a major challenge and efforts will be made to remedy the situation.
So you cannot just, exonerate the common or any other person from mistakes arising from the flood disaster. So can you give us a chance so that we shall remedy the situation? We are human beings, we are not perfect. But managing an IDP camp is not an easy task. Managing human beings is not an easy task. Managing Nigerians is not an easy task. Those that are affected and those that are not affected are all thrown into the camps. Distinguishing between the right hand and the left hand is a own problem. Distinguishing between the chaff and the grain is also a problem. But we are trying to re-establish a machinery that will do the nitty-gritty. We don't have reliable data. This thing has happened only 3 days. Getting a reliable data is not easy. So we are now trying to have a very reliable data on the victims because we have to be very careful. Right now, not all of the people that you have seen in the camps are affected because of poverty, amongst others. People do use to troop to the camps with a view to collecting food and non-food items. So I believe we are on it. I just left 5:30 a.m. and we visited 5 camps, and then we have taken census of who is who in the camp. Very soon we'll wind up the process and ensure that we have a reliable data. That's number one. While the federal state government is also working on a social register. That is what we have been doing. We want to update our social register so that we shall know the vulnerable population. We are trying to get them new numbers, amongst others. Borno State is not lagging behind in terms of this one. Data is very important. We're working assiduously to ensure that we have a very reliable data. But most importantly, we have established a committee on flooding since I assumed duty. We'll expand the scope of the committee. So we'll increase the membership so that these people will take data directly on the field, in the field. That is what we are planning to do. But now what we are trying to do is to manage those that are in the camp, and we don't want to keep people in the camp for a long period. As I earlier mentioned, there's increasing prostitution in the IDP camps. There's increasing drug abuse in the IDP camps and progression without care in the IDP camp. We have seen a lot. That's taken a very serious time and very serious effort by the state government to close all the camps in Borno, in Maiduguri. So we'll not allow reoccurrence of this situation. Whatever we shall do, we shall ensure that the camp should be a transient one, transitional one, that at most in 2 weeks we can close all the camps.
Meanwhile, the Borno State Commissioner for Education, Science, Technology and Innovation, Mr. Lawan Walkibe, says schools are currently closed for a period of 2 weeks as a result of the floods. Mr. Walkibe says the state government is assessing the situation, and if by Sunday, the 22nd of September, the flood persists, all schools will remain closed.
Maiduguri is connected by 2 rivers, the Ngada and the Yazaram, and both banks are full. So we are relying on seepage and we are relying on our flood control mechanism to now divert the water. But some parts of Maiduguri, water has significantly receded. In the case of children not going to school, when the flood committee warned the ministry that there is possible dike failure, the ministry took a proactive action by closing all schools for 2 weeks. So we are assessing the situation. By Sunday the 22nd of September, if situation doesn't improve, we'll extend the holidays. But if it improves, we'll go back to the one part of the market has opened, but the remaining part is still flooded. And you cannot cross to the third segment, which is the University of Maiduguri area. It's very difficult, except if you use boats or special vehicles or special excavators that were provided by the government. So complete normalcy will take some time, but partial normalcy we hope in the next 1 week to 10 days.
The Gombe state government has condoled with the government and people of Borno state over the recent flood disaster that devastated the state capital and environs. Governor Inuwa Yahaya, who was represented by a high-powered delegation led by the Deputy Governor, Manasa Jatou, presented a donation of 100 million naira as assistance to the victims of the incident, praying God that such devastation will never reoccur in the history of Borno state. Conveying the sympathies of the governor at the government house and the Shehu of Borno's palace in Maiduguri, the deputy governor said the visit was informed by the bond existing between both states. Meanwhile, victims of the recent flood disaster in Yobe State and in Mafatamorua local government of Yobe State are also being supported by the Gombe state government, which is donated 50 million naira to aid their recovery. The donation was also presented to the Yobe state government in a gesture of solidarity and compassion as they struggle to cope with the disasters. The Nigeria Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has advised state governments in the southern region, particularly the southwestern part of the country, to prepare for the second peak of rainfall. This is according to the head of Climate Services Unit in NIMET, Mr. Oyegade Adeleke, who was speaking on our weekend program, Sunrise. Mr. Adeleke says state governments must pay attention to rainfall predictions released by NIMET in order to prepare ahead of heavy rainfall.
The damage done to the ozone layer that is causing climate change already, even if we stop all that damage now, it will take at least 2,000 years for the ozone layer to recover completely. I would advise at this point again that particular attention should still be given to the outlook for the days to come and the advisories used. Because if we pay attention to the outlooks for the days to come, we'll be able to ameliorate the suffering of the people, even if the situation arises. Yes, if the quantity of rain or amount of rain that will come down is known, it cannot be stopped. But measures can be taken to reduce the suffering of the people. For example, in Borno State, it will be very important for the dam managers in Borno State and other states to pay critical attention to the outlook of rainfall for the season. They should be in close collaboration with NIMET because this information is so that they could know what they should do about their dams. The people in the southwest, the rain is still coming. The second peak is still coming. They have a dual season in the southwest. So what you're experiencing now is the little dry season. The other peak of the rain in the southwest is still coming. In the north, they have just one peak, and they are at the period of their peak now. Hopefully, by October, the rains will start receding. By the end of this month, the rain will go down tremendously in the north. And it will peak in the south. So it is the right time for the south to begin to take measure, southwest especially, to begin to take measure that will make sure that the consequences of flooding will not be as drastic as we have in the north presently.
The Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, has handed over food and non-food relief materials to victims of Mafa attack and flood victims across 4 local government areas of Yobe State. The managing director of the commission, Mr. Muhammad Al-Kali, was represented by the NEDC's state coordinator in Yobe, Ali Abbas, who explained that items are delivered directly to the affected communities through their stakeholders. According to him, the aim is to support the Yobe state government in cushioning the sufferings of the affected persons and communities during this trying period. Items donated include bags of rice, cartons of macaroni, clothing materials, mats, blankets, wrappers, children's wear, among others. And following the federal government's directives, the contractor handling the rehabilitation of the Potiskum-Jakusko Road has successfully provided accessibility to commuters along the road. The road, which links the 6 northern local government areas of the state, was washed away on August the 27th, affecting economic and agricultural activities in the area. Meanwhile, the Northeast Development Commission has inspected the 3 federal roads in the state that were affected by flood, with a view to providing a lasting solution to the challenge.
August 27, 2024 was a sad day for commuters along Potiskum-Jakusko Road in Yobe State, following the washaway of the road, denying 6 local government areas from accessing Damaturu, the state capital. Thereafter, the federal government summoned the contractor handling the rehabilitation of the road to provide temporary measures to allow movement of goods and properties along the road. Good news has come the way of the commuters. The contractor handling the rehabilitation of the road is back to work, following directives from the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi.
We got a call from controller through the minister that there is a section of the road which flood got cut off, so we have to come and intervene immediately, and we are here and we have done what we can do to make sure we give the commuters access.
Hard-working minister who is always stand to see the commuters' happiness in their face. So he has directed the contractors to come and connect the cut-off location, and now the contractors have complied to the directives.
Some of the drivers and commuters plying the road applaud the federal government's speedy response. Meanwhile, the Managing Director, Northeast Development Commission, Muhammad Al-Kali, has inspected the 3 federal roads cut off by flood in Yobe State and pledges to provide a lasting solution to the washed-away roads.
As we are aware, in the last few weeks, there are a lot of bridges that have collapsed or being washed away by floods. And as part of our mandate from the Commission, that's Northeast Development Commission, we're going around to see actually what is on ground, so that we can plan towards providing aid as part of the team. As you can see here, already Pyramid Works has sent the contractors to provide some support before anything can be done. So we are here today from the Commission. We have seen what has happened, so we'll go back and see what needs to be done as was done in the other state by the states.
With the temporary measures put in place, at least 6 out of the 11 local government areas cut off by flood can now access some parts of the state.
The Gombe State Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACRESAL, says the 21-kilometer FCE to Railway Quarters Gully Erosion Control Project has produced multi-dimensional growth in the benefiting communities. Before the project, violent crimes such as burglary, gang fights and rape had spiked in low-income neighborhoods where the majority earned below 1,000 naira per day. The Gombe State Project Coordinator for ACRESAL, Dr. Sani Jauro, explains how persons living around the Gully corridor are now benefiting from this project. This is the 21-kilometer FCE Railway Quarters Gully Erosion Control Project, carried out by the World Bank-funded Agroclimatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes ACRESAL project, renewing the face of a community once threatened by gullies, poverty, insecurity, and despair. In the past, the aftermath of every downpour spelled doom and gloom for victims who lost farmlands, livestock, and their homes to flooding. According to Gombe State's ACRESAL project coordinator, the state's partnership with the World Bank-funded ACRESAL has reversed the economic hardship of these communities, which were once in steady decline, and now opened a bright chapter of sustainable development.
School enrollment retention has drastically improved because of this intervention. Women attending to hospital, antenatal, and other records indicated that it has improved significantly, showing positive impact after this intervention of 21-kilometer gully projects.
Over 1.6 million persons have become beneficiaries of the project through compensation and empowerment for smart agriculture, fishery businesses, as well as revolving funds for farmers.
We have indirect beneficiaries that span over 1.6 million people. These are people whose life was at a level that you're feeling the government is not concerned about your own well-being, but were what? Transformed to better. A lot of stories that were negative to that particular location are now no more. So it's a success story that we have kept closer to our heart together with His Excellency Muhammadu Inuahaya.
This business owner says his business has seen a dramatic turnaround since he received support from ACRESAL to relocate his shop. Similarly, this grandmother expresses gratitude for the compensation, which enabled her relocate to a better and safer home when her previous home would have been brought down by the flood. Besides observing a reduction in crime rate, another resident says microeconomic indices have improved, including girl-child enrollment, which has doubled, and another observation in seamless movement of farm produce, persons, goods and services, which have now become the new order.
This work will definitely boost the economic development of our area. Not only the economy, but if we say economy, maybe we'll also include even the educational part of it. Because sometimes during the rainy season, people find it difficult, particularly our children, to cross from one area to the other to go to school.
Describing this intervention as a branch of social medicine, public health experts call for more of this in all 114 wards of Gombe State.
Before last year, by this time, we are having a lot of cholera cases due to contamination because there is no any drainage of water. But for this year, because of this project, a lot of cases has been reduced.
I would want to see this project repeated in all parts of the state where these challenges are obvious. And like I said, and that is when the government will really appreciate the importance of this kind of services in improving the health needs of the people and in preventing so many diseases, like we say, the waterborne diseases, which are the major issues that we are dealing with in this part of our world.
As ACRESAL continues its work of saving the environment, the state government is also excited that its commitment to the full implementation of the World Bank-funded project has changed a cluster of shanties to a new, prosperous community bubbling with life. Farmers in Taraba State are protesting alleged attempts by the traditional ruler of Gasol local government area of the state and a former senator of Borno State to seize over 5,000 hectares of their land. According to the farmers, they had never at any time sold the land to anyone and are ready to fight to ensure that what is theirs is not taken away by any means.
These farmlands spanning over 5,000 hectares and 6 villages of Kwatantaru, Natiride, Dinyanwo, Burbo, Kiari and Sandirde villages in Gasol local government area of Taraba State have become a bone of contention between farmers and the chief of Gasol. According to the protesting farmers, the farmlands belong to their forefathers, which they inherited and was never at any time sold, contrary to a claim that a former senator from Borno State obtained it through the traditional ruler of Gasol. They maintained that former Governor Darius Ishaku had in 2023 revoked the certificate of land ownership and allocated only 200 hectares to the former senator, and are surprised that after the former governor's tenure, the traditional ruler is claiming over 5,000 hectares.
It is with deep pains of oppression that I address you today over the seizure of our ancestral land here in Gasol district of Gasol local government area of Taraba State. It will interest you to note that this land is being claimed by one Senator Sanusi Dagash, a former senator from Borno State. You may also wish to know that the said Senator Sanusi Dagash claimed that he had obtained a certificate of occupancy, C of O, on this land without the consent and knowledge of the real owners of the land as well as the community leaders.
They are also appealing to the state government to come to their rescue as they are being threatened by security agencies to vacate the lands. We are gathered here because we feel oppressed, and our appeal is that the traditional ruler should return whatever that was given to him by the former senator in exchange for our land for peace to reign. We are ever ready to die fighting this cause. We are appealing to the state governor to also intervene. On several occasions, we were confronted by security operatives to vacate the land, and as it stands, we will not leave our ancestral lands no matter the pressure. The traditional ruler of Gasol Chiefdom, His Royal Highness Idi Chiroma, and former Senator Sanusi Dagash, represented by the Secretary of Gasol Traditional Council, says the chiefdom and the state government are aware of the issue at stake and is now appealing for calm and seeking dialogue that could lead to a peaceful resolution of the matter.
It is important to note that as the traditional ruler in charge of Gasol Chiefdom and further to all subjects in the area, it has become imperative for me to comment on the disputed land matter leading to the protest. The state government and the Gasol Traditional Council are fully in the picture of the land matter involving Senator Sanusi Dagash and some indigents of Gasol, which is currently before court of law.
The farmers vow to resist further attempts by anyone to take over their land, even as they seek peaceful resolution to the dispute.
Peaceful coexistence among the people of Adamawa State in the past has been affected by religious extremism and ethnic bigotry, resulting in communal clashes and farmer-herder crises, among others, where lives were lost and property worth millions of naira destroyed. This formed the crux of the matter at an event holding in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, where the need for interreligious dialogue to promote understanding and tolerance resonates.
Like other states in the northeast sub-region, Adamawa has had more than its fair share of insurgency. The distrust which has been created among the diverse ethnic groups who had hitherto coexisted amicably, either as Muslims, Christians, or traditionalists, is the focus of this gathering in Yola, the state capital, where the convener sets the tone for this meeting on conflict resolution.
Peace, conflict, and resolution advocates individuals and communities to pursue peace, recognizing its importance across religious, conscious, society, and individual prosperity. The impact of the conflict in the Northeast region has faced significant challenges due to insurgency, banditry, and communal conflicts. Adamawa, like many other states in the region, has not been spared of devastation, effect of turmoil. Lives has been lost, communities displaced, livelihood shattered, and social fabrics sprayed. The efforts of Adamawa into community to commitment of peace. Adamawa State has made concerted efforts for fostering peace and reconciliation amongst communities.
Other speakers educate the people at the grassroots on solving conflicts through peace and tolerance.
If you see a good Christian, a humble Christian, it is because he understood the teachings of the Bible. If you see a Muslim, a very good practicing Muslim, it is because he understood the teachings of his book. Don't mind with the remaining ones at the left and right. Don't try to judge attitude and link it with the religion. It is because we are unable to make this discrimination that we try to link the attitude with the religion. And as a result, we get it wrong.
The Bible says Blessed are the peacemaker, for they will be called children of God. And at the same time, in Romans chapter 12, verse 18, it says, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone.
Meanwhile, an expert on peace building calls for the inclusion of peace education in school curricula in Adamawa State.
We need to take this one to our schools. We need to move around. We need to go to the state government and tell him that we need a subject from grassroots we call what? Peace education. That is where the knowledge of living together will come on board.
This event kickstarts other interfaith dialogues that will hold across the 21 local government areas of Adamawa State, aimed at promoting peaceful coexistence among the people.
And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again, same time next week. Bye for now.